That's a bold one. We're just throwing the bombs out here today.
Every year, it's always the bombs.
Yeah, that was fifth. So fourth place, I have Roma. Like Danny was saying, it's interchangeable. I really don't know what's gonna happen. This, to be honest, more picking in my heart. I really hope they come fourth. That'll be kind of like winning a trophy for us coming fourth now. Mourinho's first year in this 3-year plan. So hopefully, we can pull it off. I think one thing that gives me a little bit of confidence is that with Fonseca, the way he played was he wanted to play the same way against every team, and you just can't do that. You need to change according to who you're playing.
Yeah.
That's just how football is. He does play beautiful style football. I do like him as a coach, but at the end of the day, we didn't have the players to play the way he wanted us to play, and he was just forcing it upon the guys that didn't have the technique and just IQ to play the way he wanted to play. So I think Mourinho, he knows how to prepare these big games. With Fonseca, I think we won like 2 games against big teams when he was here, and one of them was Juve at the end of the season where it really didn't matter. So yeah, against big teams we got smashed every time. Napoli killed us, Inter killed us, Juve killed us, everyone killed us. Lazio killed us one game, embarrassing lose to them. Milan, it was bad. I think now with Mourinho, even if we're not going to win every big game, obviously it's not going to happen. I think we can win some, and we can be in the game more because he knows how to prepare the team, and he knows that Juventus, obviously on paper, have a better team. So you're not going to attack them like your prime Barca. You're going to, park the bus a little bit, hit them on the counter, play smart. So I think Mourinho will have a better chance to win these big games. I think that'll make a big difference for us if we are going to get top 4. But again, it could be anyone, top 4. Napoli, Roma. Who knows? Lazio can surprise me. Milan, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Milan get it. It's a big question mark. But then who do you have for 4?
Yeah, I have Napoli top 4. I have Napoli fourth place. We didn't really get worse from last year. We kept majority of our guys. The only players we lost were Husai and Maximovic. And we brought in Juan Jesus and the new coach. But I think Spalletti will get the job done. I don't expect Napoli at all to finish first place, second place. My goal this year is just top 4, go pretty far in Europa League, make a nice run in the Coppa Italia. I personally believe if Napoli do get left back, hopefully Emerson Palmieri can wait a few more days so we can put an official bid, like a big bid, and bring him in. I do think Napoli will get stronger in that position, and we do have good bodies, even depth to compete in these Europa Leagues and the Coppa Italia. So I think Napoli will finish fourth, pardon me. And that all, for me, this all depends on if Napoli can bring in the left back. And if we bring in the left back, maybe we can make a push for top 3. But as of right now, I think Napoli will finish fourth place.
Just a quick update before Che gives his fourth place. Fiorentina insider who was pretty reliable for them. Vlahovic is very close to Man City.
What a shame.
Oh, wow.
What a shame.
I don't know who he is, but apparently, the Fiorentina fans really trust him. Every team has their own little insider that knows a lot. And I guess the one Fiorentina is very close to Man City, apparently. So
that's a shame.
Yeah, that might change my prediction there, but continue.
My fourth place, I have Milan. I think just spring off from last season, the team's going to be more motivated to try to clinch the Scudetto. They don't have the team. They don't have the mentality to do that. But they have great players like Giroud, Ibra, Rebic, Kessié. Their defense, they got Tomori back, which is huge for them. They have Kier now. The only big loss was Donnarumma for them, but I think Mike Maignan is going to fill in the shoes for him. Not as good, obviously, but good enough to kind of save them a couple of times. So I think that's why Milan are going to get fourth.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. Like we've been saying, Milan, Roma, Napoli, they can all interchange. So yeah, all of our predictions are pretty close. Moving on to third. I'm actually pretty surprised no one's put Inter outside because, if you look on Twitter, a lot of people are saying Inter, they're going to get relegated, all this stuff. 6, 7. I feel like most of us might have Inter here. I have Inter third. I think we all might have it, to be honest. I have Inter third.
I have Atalanta third.
Atalanta third? Yes, we're all pretty close. I got Inter third. They aren't obviously as strong as they were last year, to be honest. Losing Lukaku. The guy almost led the league in assists as well. He's just incredible, man. He's so good. A shame he's gone. really enjoyed watching him. But yeah, Lukaku's gone. Hakimi is so good. He's so good. I think he scored for PSG already too, Hakimi.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a great player. But it's tough with Inter. I think one thing that's really keeping me from putting them low is their midfield and defense. I think their midfield and defense is still very, very good.
Yeah.
And Handanovic, I'm sorry. I know actually Inter fans agree with me because I know I've been seeing what they've been saying. He needs to go soon. He's very old now. He's very, very old, and he's playing old. The difference between being old and playing old. He's playing old. You can see the age has hit him now. He's made a lot of mistakes, and I think they do need a keeper, a new one. But the defense, man, yeah, I don't know if they take that guy. But yeah, so when you got Skriniar, Bastoni, you got Barella, box to box, went up and down like a madman, you always got a chance to go far, and I can't see Inter finishing outside the top four. I would be shocked if that was the case. So I have third place.
I have Atalanta third. I just think, regardless of their team, I just think, personally, I think Romero's going to be a huge loss for them. I don't think Demiral could live up to the season that Romero has. I think he'll have a good season, especially with Lovato beside him, Jim City. They still have Toloi. So they do have a decent defense, but I think Romero leaving to join Spurs is a huge loss for them. So I think that could cost them, but they still have guys like Hatabor, Gosens. So they still have a lot of attacking talent. So I think attackingly they'll be strong, but I just still think defensively they need to improve in the center back. Maybe sign like a big name center back, but we'll see. But I really like Gasparini's core. Still have Malinowski, who's incredible. Muriel and Zapata are still there as of right now. So if that can stay, I think Atalanta have a good chance to finish in the top four. And again, these two can change for me. My 3 and 2, they can change throughout the season. They can change at the end of the season. So as of right now, I have Atalanta just finishing third place.
Yeah, similar to Enzo, I got Inter at third place. Like you said, they lost a lot of big players. They lost Lukaku. They lost Hakimi. They lost Conte. But I think the rest of the team has kind of stayed. And they did bring in Dzeko, who's not amazing, but I think he will get a couple of goals to help Inter get some points. They got Dumfries, who was incredible in the Euros, and always been a good right back for kind of a Hakimi replacement. So I think third place is fitting for them. And Zaghi, he's not the best coach. He almost won the Scudetto with Lazio until he choked it. So let's see what he does with a better group of players at Inter. So I think third place is fitting just for Inter.
Yeah, it's fair. For Shapoka Inter there. I'm assuming Dan's gonna have Inter second, which is completely fair. I think all of our teams, to be honest, top 8 are pretty much the same, except the Napoli one. That was pretty, that was a pretty big one. I didn't expect. Second I got Atalanta. With Atalanta, I think I'm on the completely opposite side for sure. I thought they had one of the better mercatos. I think, bringing in my opinion, the best goalkeeper, maybe one of the best goalkeepers Serie Musso, I think is great. I think defense is their only real problem. And although they lost Romero, they brought in Demiral, who is a pretty similar player to him. I just feel like obviously with Atalanta, Romero played more than Demiral could for Juve, but they're pretty similar, reckless guys that are long and going to tackles are strong, pretty similar players. But they also got Lovato, who I think is a very underrated signing that nobody's really talking about. I think Lovato will be one of the better center backs next year. He's a great player. I know Dan loves him. I love watching him. I hope he does well because Italy need, when Chiellini's gone, we're going to need someone else too. The more center backs, the better for Italy. So I really hope Lovato can really pop off at Atalanta. I love their mercato. Their tackles never question. Obviously, they always score the most goals in the Serie or close to it. The defense is always a problem for me. Midfield, Pasovic is incredible. Yeah. They got some great midfielders. Malinowski, they still got Muriel, that guy last year. Muriel was playing like a R9. I don't know what got into that guy. Off the bench, too. He had how many goals? 15 goals off the bench or something?
He
had the most goals, I think. As a substitute.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's double Dzeko's goal tally from the bench. So he's incredible.
And
I
they
think
also,
Atalanta,
they have Pessina too, who's coming off
yeah,
a pretty
Pessina,
impressive Euro campaign, Euro Cup winner. So
yeah.
maybe he'll bring the winning mentality to Atalanta.
And I think the biggest key out of this whole thing is that they still have their manager. If you look at the other teams around, they all change managers. It takes time to get into the flow of things and trust your manager in certain situations in game when they tell you to do something. Gasperini's been there. They have the foundation. Now they just have to explode. And I think, to be honest, I almost put Atalanta winning the Scudetto. I really almost did. They just don't have the same depth that other teams do on the bench. And obviously, Muriel, that guy, for the attack, they're fine with that kind of depth. But defensively, and injuries, and Hato Buero
Yeah.
already got hurt. He's
Yeah.
already out for 3 months, I think. So, just the depth it's always been the problem, to be honest.
And I think that's one thing too that like when I was deciding too, that's one thing too I was looking at between Inter and Atalanta. I just don't like the way, not don't like the way, but I just don't think Atalanta have the depth to compete and go far in Champions League, go far in the Coppa Italia, and also try to maintain top four in Serie A. So I think that's, for me, that was the key decider, one of the key deciders actually, between finishing in second and finishing in third place. I think just near the end of the season, I think Atalanta could decline a little bit, but again, they always prove a lot of people wrong, and they're one of the biggest sides in Italy for a reason, and a main reason because of Gasperini.
Yeah, and we saw what they did last year too. Once they got out of the Champions League, they started going off. Like once they only had one game a week, they started exploding, killing teams like the old Atalanta. If I was Gasperini, honestly, I'd just lose the Champions League on purpose, get out, come fourth, and they could actually win the Scudetto if they do that, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, I think they're a very scary side to play against.
Yeah. It's almost like, obviously, the money for Champions League, you want it, but it's almost like it's a bad thing for them to come top four. I feel like if they don't have any other competition, they can win the Serie easily. Gasperini with 1 week preparation for every game, it'll be so tough to beat him. But yeah, I got Atalanta second. But Dan, how about you? What do you got?
Yeah, I have Inter second. I still like their core. I think their defense is very strong, regardless of losing Hakimi. I think Dumfries will fill in. Not as good, I don't believe, because Hakimi last season was incredible. But I do believe Dumfries will be a big impact on the right side. I liked how they brought in Çalhanoğlu, even though a few Milan fans, they're calling him snakes, which I don't blame them at all. I did the same thing when Higuain left us for Juventus. But I just think he's a good creative midfielder that can help Lautaro Martinez get into goal situations, put him in good positions. Barella's he's a monster. And I think Dzeko too. I think he could be a good impact player off the bench, especially if guys like Martinez is not performing. And again, the window's still open. I think they're linked to Thuram, like you said, Enzo, early on. And if they can bring in Thuram, he's a good player and he's a game changer. So I think he can help Inter if they can close the deal. So we'll see with that. I just think Inzaghi is a good coach just to finish the top four. Before he was with Lazio, he almost won the Scudetto. But I think it just came down to the players' mentality, just the way they played. And then they ended up choking, which in this case, Inter, I don't think they have that mentality that Lazio team had. I think they have winners mentality because they're just coming off the Scudetto. So for me, I think just the midfield and defense is good enough to keep Inter top two. And I think Martinez can have a big season, especially now that he's the main guy that Lukaku's gone. I think he's ready to live up to that challenge.
Yeah. Enzo, you're going to be happy with this. Second place, I got Roma. I think
Wow.
This is the team that scares me the most in the Scudetto race. For me personally, this is the team that has have the best mercato. I think bringing in a winner like Jose Mourinho is huge for them. Tammy Abraham, a great striker. They have a fantastic goalie of Rui Patricio. Not to mention Zaniolo's back and he's going to be angry. He's going to want vengeance. He's going to be hungry to win and to score and to assist. Then you also have the guys from last season like Pellegrini, if he continues his form. Spinazzola is obviously injured, but in the later end of the season, the second half of the season, you're going to have Spinazzola hungry to come back and play. So I think this team is going to be extremely scary, especially under Mourinho. And I think they're going to come second place, and the only reason they can't win the Scudetto is just the lack of depth is going to cost them.
Well, that's you dropped a bombshell there. I didn't expect
Another
that.
one.
Thing with Roma, it depends on how long it takes for them to figure it out. If we can figure it out quick, then anything's possible. You never know. Spinazzola coming back later on, but I don't know. It's a big ask to come second. I can't even imagine top four, but if we can do it, then for sure I'll come over to your house and give you a big hug. But yeah, it'll be tough. But yeah, first I think the listeners all know what we're gonna pick based off process of elimination. Yeah. Juventus, we all got Juve. And, I just think with Juve, Allegri is a winner. Which I know you might disagree, but we'll hear from you soon. What do you think about that? But I think with Allegri coming back, that's the best signing of the Mercato for any team. He's just, he's annoying to watch, similar to Mourinho. They don't play the best style of football. It can be frustrating some games, but they win. And at the end of the day, who cares? If you win, you win. The good thing with Allegri, unlike these other coaches who are coming in for the first time to the club, although Allegri's a new coach technically, he's been there for a long time. He knows the people that work in the offices, the players know him. Just everyone knows him. So it's not like a huge thing. It's kind of like you went on vacation and just came back and ready to work again.
Vacation.
I watched Juve against Atalanta, and once again, I know it's a friendly. It doesn't really matter, but they look really good to me. Except Berna played good, but I don't know if he can really play in the midfield the whole year. That might be if Allegri's playing on that, then I don't know if that's going to work for too long, but he scored a banger. But
fantastic goal.
Yeah, against Barca and against Atalanta, it was night and day. But it's preseason. These games don't really matter at all. If you look at Bayern, I think Bayern lost to Cologne or something. What's that team called? Cologne? Some small team in Germany. I don't know what they lost to.
Yeah.
They lost to a small team. I think PSG lost to some small team. Like, these friendlies don't really matter. But, just Juve. I think Juve Atalanta was treated more like an actual Serie A game, the way they came into it. It felt like an actual game. And, Juve looked really good. So, I don't know. You can't doubt them the art of a champion, like they say. They have too much experience, too much knowledge. And I feel like this year's a lot of reset years, like Napoli, Spalletti, Roma, Mourinho, except for Atalanta, really, Inter, Inzaghi, Lazio, Sarri. It's all kind of like a rebuilding year, a reset year, starting from the bottom, fresh slate, new manager. I feel like Juve is just ready to go. Kind of like Pirlo and Sarri were kind of like caretakers for Allegri, give him a little break, and he came back and he's ready to go. But I got Juve. It's hard not to put them there. How about you, Dan? Well, I know you got Juve, but why?
For me, I just think bringing in Allegri was a huge signing for them. I think it's a huge signing as much as signing Locatelli for me. Because Allegri's a proven winner. He took Juve to Champions League finals. He won them Scudettos. And I think he's just a proven coach. He's a winner, especially now that they signed Locatelli. Finally, Juve's got their midfielder that they've been looking for probably since Pogba or Pirlo, that midfield since then. Especially now with McKinney and Locatelli in the midfield, that's a nice little duo in the midfield. Chiesa coming off a very impressive, very strong Euros. Ronaldo's always there, so it's always Ronaldo. The guy's gonna score goals. Kulusevski, I think he can have a decent year this year. Chiellini and Bonucci, if these guys are healthy, Chiellini and Bonucci, they proved in the past what partnership they have. I think that can carry over this year, especially now with De Ligt probably going to fill in that role, playing a lot more when Chiellini needs rest. So that's a good center-back trio right there as well. And I just think they have a good core of players. They're winners, like Ronaldo, Chiesa. Now's a winner. Locatelli's a winner. Chiellini, Bonucci, they're winners. And I think that will carry over for Juve. And I think Allegri coming in is going to bring them success. And then that's why I have Juve finishing first.
Yeah. I don't think it shocks anyone that I have Juve first. I've always said it. It fits Allegri's fairy tale storyline here. Though he finally comes to Juve and Conte leaves, Lukaku leaves. The competition in my eyes got weaker than last season and the season before that when Allegri was sitting on his couch eating a bag of chips or whatever he was doing, maybe eating a bag of popcorn because he admitted he wasn't watching soccer. He wasn't studying the sport in the 2 years. So I think that hinders his ability. It really scares me for this upcoming season. But I think Juve's team is too strong for him not to win the Scudetto. I think everyone else is weaker. Like I said, the only team that really scares me is Roma, and I just think their lack of depth isn't good enough to win the Scudetto. But it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, just off his press conferences, he's already scaring me. He said Szczesny's better than Donnarumma. He said Szczesny's a top 4 keeper in the world. He already took Bonucci's vice captaincy away after winning a Euro because he said it goes off appearances and all this bullshit. I don't know he chooses his captain over appearances, over leadership ability. So it goes to show that he really hasn't watched the sport in 2 years. I just think the only thing that's going to save Allegri is the team. I think when you have Dybala, Ronaldo, Chiesa up top, then you have Locatelli in the midfield. I want to say you have Chiellini and Bonucci in the back, but Bonucci's not going to play under Allegri. It'll be Chiellini and De Ligt until, for most of the season, it'll probably be De Ligt and Bonucci, when Chiellini needs rest. And then we have an idiot in the net, but hopefully we don't get a lot of shots on target from the opposing team and we will be fine. But I just think the team's too strong to not win the Scudetto. I think Allegri's a good enough coach to win the Scudetto over weak opponents. If it was Conte's Inter, maybe Inter win the Scudetto again, but it's not. So I just think this season, if Juve don't win the Scudetto, Allegri needs to not only get sacked, he needs to retire from the sport. And I think it's inevitable for Juventus to win.